Throughout the RNC, we'll have you covered here on 27 News at 4 with live analysis from political science expert Howard Schweber.
Schweber is a professor at UW-Madison, and he joins us live now from Milwaukee. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
So what is the atmosphere in Milwaukee like, and what did you notice security-wise today?
Well, the security is, of course, very heavy. It's just hard to get through. But really, the atmosphere is remarkably positive. You know, the previous story mentioned the possibility of a shift in tone. And on this first day, you really see it. There's been very little of negative rhetoric. There's been talk about things like a crisis at the border and the need to rescue the economy, but always couched in positive terms of how wonderful, what wonderful things will happen when Trump becomes president again, not in terms of vilifying the Democrats. And part of the tone appears to be to try and paint the Democrats as the party of negativity and hostile rhetoric and implicit threats. And the Republicans as good as public spirited. I even heard the phrase "good government" used of all things in the invocation by a Greek Orthodox Archbishop at the beginning of the ceremony.
Professor Schweber, I know you're at Pfizer Forum right now. We just saw J.D. Vance on the floor of the convention. What's your reaction to former President Trump picking Vance as his running mate? What impact could that have on the election?
Well, you know, obviously a convention is not a microcosm of the party, let alone the nation. This is the core of the leadership. But the enthusiasm to the reaction of the announcement for Vance has been enormous. You can hear behind me where the music is starting up now. There have just been the loudest roars of the day have come in response to J.D. Vance. Not that there's a lack of enthusiasm for Trump or anything, but this is really feels here to these people like a shot in the arm. And Vance emphasizes some of the other themes that we've already heard. One is the idea of we will represent the forgotten people. That phrase was used over and over. And the other one is the platform, which was mentioned earlier. Not once, but at least 3 times, someone said President Trump personally reviewed and approved every element of this platform. The theme, in other words, is unity. This is no time for pushing issues. If you don't think the platform is strong enough on a particular issue, like, say, abortion, this is not the time for that. This is the time for a unified, positive pro-American message. We'll see how long that lasts, particularly, with the speakers tomorrow, some of whom are well known for their rhetoric. But at the moment, on this first day, there appears to be a really strong effort to make this a kind of different looking convention from what we might have expected. And how much, if at all, that has to do with the shooting incident, it's hard to say. I will say the delegates here are speaking of Trump and that incident as though he's a kind of a superhero. Isn't it amazing how collected he was? Wasn't he brave? That photograph of him raising his fist and the chant, "Fight, fight, fight," has come up repeatedly. That has done nothing but cement his status in their eyes. And I think the pick of Vance fits with that narrative, that these are scrappy fighters, not elites, comebacks. Words like that have been used over and over in the course of just this one day.
And the RNC says today's focus is Make America Wealthy Again. So what can voters expect to hear?
Well, you're hearing frankly, wildly overstated claims. If Trump is elected, we will destroy inflation, people will be able to buy houses, and the economy will be solved. We're not hearing policy proposals. That's obviously not what this is for. Each day has a different theme. There's Make America Secure Again. Today is Make America Wealthy Again. And the last day on Thursday is Make America Great Again, or actually this time it's called Make America Great Once Again. There's a lot of discussion of how wonderful things were under Trump and how we can assume we will go back to those things when Trump is reelected. Again, this is not a policy presentation with specifics, though there was one very oddly specific reference to the idea of cutting taxes on tips coming from a representative from Nevada.
Definitely an interesting part of these conventions, always hearing those different proposals. In the last few seconds we have, Professor Schweber, how important are conventions when it comes to winning over voters that final result in November?
It really varies by election. I think in this instance, this convention is important to pull together the support for Trump, not only solidify the base, but reach out at least a bit, and to try and draw a contrast. So it feels as though the Trump campaign has decided that the contrast to draw is that Trump is a good citizen, good guy, heroic figure, and Biden is a mean, nasty old man. They're really going for aesthetics rather than content or policy. And that seems to be the message that they're playing. And so far, at least in this hall, it's playing very, very well.
All right, Professor Schweber, we appreciate your insights from Pfizer Forum. We appreciate you joining us. We'll see you again here tomorrow.
Thank you. Bye-bye.